Horry and Georgetown counties, we welcome you back to Sound Off. Again, Sound Off is heard weekly on your favorite radio station. It's always our goal at Sound Off to deal with topics that are relevant to you, the community, and relevant to our young people. And again, we are very honored to have as our very special guest, Pastor Philip Gillard. He's the pastor of the Miracle Tabernacle Church of God in Christ, located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Also, ROTC instructor at Loris High School. He's a grandfather, he's a husband, he's a mentor, and he's my friend. Y'all, let's give it up once again for Pastor Philip Gillard. Yeah. On that note, keep clapping because I want you to now introduce yourselves to Horry and Georgetown counties.
Hello, I'm Raekwon from Early College High School.
Good morning, good morning. This is Demazio from Carvers Bay High School.
Hello, this is Jonica from Conway High School.
And once again, we'd like to say good morning to Elder Gillard. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
And once again, you just don't realize we are really honored to have you in the studios. We enjoyed that first segment. Guys, did y'all good information? And how, exactly. We're talking about the importance of getting our village healthy again, or knowing the importance of a healthy village. And I firmly believe in order for the village to be healthy, we have to have strong males or men. We're talking about the acronym R.O.A.R that Elder Gillard is going to be expounding on as we go along in the show. But the first letter was respect. And so, as the two males on the panel, Ray and DJ, I'm curious, how would you, Pastor Gillard said that, for several people, their definition of respect is defined in several ways. But I would like to know, how would you define respect, Ray?
Well, I'm not going to find my definition much help, but I was taught that respect is just respect. If you're taught the right and wrong things to do in a house, the right things are respectful to your parents. And then when you take that from the house into the streets, you do the right thing. You're doing the right thing by other people in the streets, so that's respecting them. So I guess it's good family values.
Okay, you know what? Yeah. That's your definition.
I'm going to stick by it.
As it Ray's definition, and you know what? I'm going to take that. Okay, DJ, what's your definition?
My definition of respect is basically not how people see you, but how you see yourself and how you live your life accordingly to everyone else. That's my definition of respect.
Okay, all right. What do you think, Pastor Gillard?
What they just defined gives you I would say, an epiphany of what I'm saying. It means different things to different people.
Right.
And something as simple as shaking a person's hand with a firm hand grip as opposed to a limp wrist shows respect, because, some people, no matter what you do, you're going to be, it sends a message.
Right.
So when I speak to someone, I like getting eye-to-eye contact.
Absolutely.
I believe that, that's important to understanding. And letting that person know that, okay, we're connecting here. So that's what DJ and Ray just said are just examples of how different respect is from one person to another.
Okay, and Jonica, what did you have, sweetie?
Now, in the acronym R.O.A.R, the next letter happens to be O, which stands for ownership. I would like to know how important ownership is.
Very good question, Jonica. This whole R.O.A.R piece, when we start looking at the respect and then the ownership, when you put it together, ownership then helps you to build or have a better understanding of what your values are when it comes down to respect. You have to own all of who you are. I can't blame you for anything that I might say or do, no matter what your actions or reactions to me might be. I can't say, well, it's because of you that I did this, this, or this. At the end of the day, I have to own my actions. And that's this whole respect piece. When you own your actions, then you start looking for ways to make better decisions, okay? A lot of African-American males, we have had this problem with playing the blame game. It ain't my fault, I don't know how kosher it is, but I just got to be frank. It ain't the white man's fault.
That's right.
We'll blame everybody. And unfortunately, the black male gets blamed a lot because you just like your absentee or no good daddy.
Right.
And so this whole message permeates the essence of this little boy. And so he grows up, and it ain't my fault.
Right.
You know, I'm a victim here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so don't hold me accountable, and that's another part of this whole R.O.A.R piece.
That's right.
Okay, but you know, when I start getting a little self-respect, I'll start owning some issues, because as long as I can blame you, I don't have no responsibilities. I don't have to step up. So,
but okay, I'm going to you, DJ, next. But you know what I want to, let's talk about how important is it for, like, for instance, Ray and DJ, to have someone that holds them accountable. You know, since we're going to talk about the accountability piece, do you think that's a problem as it relates to especially African American males?
Absolutely. And it's not just a male thing, it's a cultural thing. I would even say it's a epidemic that we're living with now, because friends don't even hold each other accountable for doing what DJs described as the respectful thing, or maybe it was Ray that said doing the right thing.
Right.
You know, there is a distinction between right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Everything isn't going to be a right or wrong, a left or right, or up or down. Sometimes it's just a difference. Okay, fine. But when there is a right or wrong, are you willing to hold me accountable? Mm-hmm. Because if you're my friend, you won't just allow me to do anything. But that's this cultural thing now. You know, we're eclectic. Whatever you want to do, just do it. And there's no accountability piece there. Okay. Unfortunately.
DJ?
Well, I was listening to what you were saying, and like the whole idea of our culture now is that we'll blame everyone except for the one person that's responsible, and that's ourselves, based upon our choices and how, you know, we live our life. And I was looking at the acronym of R.O.A.R and what it stood for, and I was wondering, would it be safe to say that ownership, accountability, and responsibility are held in reverence of each other with this whole idea of respect?
Absolutely.
Good
Very
point.
good connection, point. DJ. You got it, okay? There's no way you're going to ever roar without putting it all together.
That's
okay?
right. That's right.
And
I like that.
And that whole R.O.A.R piece is what you have to do. Mm-hmm. It's not 2 of 3. It's not 3 of 4. You got to put this thing together. See, when you respect yourself, you're going to take ownership, accountability, and responsibility for all your actions, rather they be good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. And because you are responsible, are you respectful, you're going to take ownership. Mm-hmm. And there are aspects of who we are that we need to discard and reinvent. But there comes the piece that gives us to be accountable to each other. Because I can't get you to do something that I'm not willing to model for you.
That's right.
And be an example and be consistent.
That's right.
In it. So, you know, this whole R.O.A.R piece, we got to learn how to roar. I mean, and who roars? I mean, the king of the jungle, the lion. The lion's roar can be heard 5 miles away, okay? Mm-hmm. You know, so as men, we got to literally be able to go in environments and change our environments, because we've been called to be change agents, you know. Just the fact that a man is in the house makes a difference. Yeah. But don't be absent, because unfortunately, that's just as bad, because we have become passive, unengaged. You know, no child should have to hear this. Dad, may I be able to do this, and have to then hear this from dad. Go ask your mama. You should be able to make a decision.
Wow, powerful. What did you have, Ray?
Okay, I'm gonna tie that, like, whatever I have to say back into what DJ said, except I'm gonna throw honesty in there, because that's what I was taught. I wasn't taught. I was taught respect, ownership, accountability, and responsibility. All the things that are included within R.O.A.R, but it's kind of like my dad packaged it for me. Mm-hmm. Kind of like what DJ was talking about, and he packaged it within honesty. You have to be honest with yourself, honest about what you should take ownership for, honest about what you're responsible for, all that stuff. So, like, that's one of the values that he taught me earlier on. Matter of fact, that would, like, if I was to lie about something in his house, that would be the number one thing I'll get in trouble for. So,
and and not to cut you off, but that would be because you would be disrespecting what are his rules.
Yeah, okay? That's good. So it still ties in.
So it's right there. Yeah. That's that whole respect
that's
piece.
Good.
And I am so glad that you honor your father. And you're honoring him even right now by saying that. And I hope that he's listening. so that he can stick his chest out. Because let me tell you something, fathers are honored through their children, and what makes us great is what we impart.
Right. Wow, Elder Gillard, that was really powerful. I see Jonica. Jonica, you had something. What did you have to say, sweetie?
Like you said, Miss Schofield, this is like just amazing. And with me, with those 3 brand new little baby boy cousins, I would really like them to know this. So it sounds like we're mainly kind of heading towards at our young men. What about implementing this in our dads? Like, because like you said, you can't learn anything unless you're taught. And I think it comes from the fathers.
You know something, Jonica, you bring out a very, very valuable point. I've been doing a male mentoring program over 13 years now, and that's still up and running. And over a period of time, what I've found to be the most consistent attendees to the meetings have become fathers and grandfathers, simply because of the fact that, true story, there was a man that I spoke to, and at the time he was in his 60s. And we were talking about this conversation piece about our fathers and men who impacted our lives. And he talked about the fact that he had only saw his biological father on 4 occasions. And on one of those occasions, his biological father said to him that he would purchase him a bicycle. Well, since then, his father is deceased. But in that conversation, I sensed that even at 60 years old, he was still waiting on that bicycle from his dad. That's the impact a father has. And this is the type of impact a program like this has, not just on boys, but even men who are still dealing with that little boy that's still inside of the king, the kid that's still inside of the king, that still needs to be touched.
That is powerful. You know what? When we come back, let's talk about the importance of fathers being in the young boys or the male's life, and when we're dealing with that absent fathers, then some of the the not so positive things that we have to deal with. Horry and Georgetown counties, you're listening to Sound Off, and we'll be right back.